Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to give you the first update on the Bleed Bow Gladiator journey, and we've have some more hours into the character. We have leveled up now to level 92, and currently we're sitting on 2 death. Okay, first death was when I was farming the breach stones for the invitations here. I had a tool modifier with +3 projectiles, and he just came all over me. I was a bit unfortunate, and the second one was a boss in a logbook. But outside of that, the character is just doing phenomenal, in my opinion. It's a lot of fun. I'm really waking up in the morning, can't wait to just log on and just run my maps, because this build is so much quality of life and just a chill kind of mapping style. So before we talk about the upgrades that I've made, let's run a little map here. So in the first map showcase, I showed you a tier 6 map or something, was level 72. Now we have obviously done the Ubal up as well, so we have now the bleed explosions, the arena challenger charges, as well as outmatch and outlast. And we get 10% more physical damage while maximum frenzy, and 10% reduced physical damage taken while maximum endurance. And we solve that with Grand Spectres with minimum endurance charges, as well as minimum frenzy charges, and avoid elemental ailment. So we are now 100% ailment avoidance on top of that. My current mapping strat, I'm going to talk about that in a different video, but at the moment just default cathedrals. Why is this not rolled? Hello? All of my maps are rolled, just like this. Not okay, I guess we just back in dump tab. So default cathedral. I basically farm challenges right now in Default Cathedral as this mapping environment. Basically, always the chance of dropping an apothecary card. Not saying it's gonna happen, but it could technically happen, right? But overall, split arrow for clearing and puncture for the single target. You can even do some 360 no scopes with Frostblink. Clicking on every altar, and overall just this super chill run around and just yeah, have the cursor in front of you, and with the Anomalous version of Split or Arrow, where do we have it? Anomalous Split Arrow, we do have, I think, 9 additional projectiles. So yeah, it's 10 arrows with chain. These things are just flying left and right, and yeah, chain off targets and just inflict these kind of bleedings. And it's really chill to play. On top of that, I finally managed to play Crucible to unlock all my passives on my weapon, so I'm getting a lot of intelligence from there, so I don't have to worry about oh, this is immunity shrine. But wait, then I actually have to remove the immunity shrine, because this is cheating then, right? Map showcase with immunity shrine doesn't really count. But other than that, I think I figured out a lot of the defense layers. So we are currently running around 48,000 armor, 42,000 evasion rating. We are soon being spell suppression capped. I need 2 or 3 more updates. Fuck, my phone is going wild here. Let's mute it. And yeah, for map bosses, you just put down your totems, you load up your puncture, and you just release the shot, and then usually, yeah, a couple seconds later, the boss is dead. So it works pretty smooth. And I just see that I still have Maven activated. I'm actually farming Searing Exarch with this. There is one thing that is very important once you farm Searing Exarch, is that you have your Pantheon with the Soul of Aberrath, so you're unaffected by Burning Ground, because this Burning Ground that you can get from these modifiers does really hurt. But outside of that, I think the character is getting some reasonable good speed for just walking around. We do have the Arena Challenger charges in Sandstance. That means we're getting 10% or 10% or even 20% more attack, move, and cast speed. So this is really good. I'm not sure if it's cast speed, but you know, Challenger charge I think is 2% more modifier. On top of that, I'm having Onslaught. I have my Quicksilver Flask, so we're running around I'd say 150% movement speed right now, or maybe 200%. So getting some additional speed on Gladiator is actually quite easy. And as you see, it just go in, you know, projectiles, chain, bleed, pops are taking care of everything. And even though I have not really invested into damage just yet, it just feels really smooth in the terms of the mapping playstyle. Yeah, what upgrades did I do? Mainly, first thing, I upgraded my gems, so I'm now running like my 2020 gems when it's not like any kind of like alternate, or at least alternate quality or normal gems. I could like just upgrade this one to 21. Actually, it would probably be like a couple chaos. But I upgraded all the awakened gems now to the maximum, so just to squeeze out a little bit more DPS. I changed my leveling belt, basically, like what I usually have, just like all resistance belts to Rithlados Coil, which is like very, very high DPS gain. You just need to make sure that you have the minimum or the lowest minimum roll and the highest physical roll, and then you throw in some physical and chaos modifiers, and you get them to 48% maximum physical attack damage and 36 less. It's still pretty good damage upgrade. Lap enchant would be nice as well. I think it's like enemies take like increased damage over time for if they're maimed and stuff like that, and we do maim targets anyways since we have blood in the eyes. Then I do have now my base core items, basically, so I was checking for just armor evasion bases with fractured spell suppression. So I have the helmet over here, the gloves over here. This is like my, at the moment, boots. They still have like 14 spell suppression, right? But overall, what I'm looking for is just like these bases, I think craft me over here, with the fractured spell suppression, so then we can actually like essence craft or do some craft with that. Good. Other than that, I do have now a Circle of Guilt. I think I had this in my last upgrade video with vulnerability on hit, and I got myself an onslaught on hit ring as my secondary ring, basically. It comes evenly with determination, increased aura effect. I picked this one up, I think, for 15 divines. I think that was hella cheap, so I think the seller didn't even like bother with the determination aura effect, but for my build, it is pretty huge. I also got this one for 80 chaos. Which has mana reservation efficiency implicit, as well as 800 armor and evasion while fortified. So I wasn't too sure about that stat, because like this mana reservation efficiency amulets are not really too expensive. I think like 50-60 chaos or something. But when I put it in, if I check here, so we go from 25k to 32k. So that means basically this stat here, the 800 armor, is actually giving me like 7,000 armor rating and evasion based on all of our modifiers, and with like basically all the more multipliers and increased multipliers from all these kind of things, as well as like a divergent determination, getting more armor from evasion, stuff like that. This stat actually is pretty good, and I think at some point when we have like even more modifiers, this thing will probably give me like, I don't know, like 10,000 armor and evasion just on the, while we are fortified. And we do get fortification from the Forbidden Flame Flesh combination that we yoink from the Champion Ascendancy. And surprisingly, these jewels are actually pretty cheap. So this one is like 1 divine, and the other one is going for 1 divine as well. So 2 divine for getting permanent 20 stacks of fortification, 20% less damage take from hits is just really sexy. Other than that, still the same bow, still the same quiver. So the quiver would be the next big upgrade, because this just sucks. It was still with leveling, so I leveled this character with the Widow Hail bow, and then just took like this drill neck. I think it was like 5 chaos or something, with a corrupted implicit with added physical damage. So that was like super easy and super chill to play. But now, since I'm farming like endgame content quite off, I definitely want to have some more upgrades over there. Based on the skill tree, I added now 3 large cluster jewels. All of them do have the same combination of Battle Hardened, which is evasion armor, as well as Master Fundamentals and Furious Assault. Furious Assault we're not gonna care, but these 2 are pretty sick. And then we just have like here a Corrupted Blood Immunity jewel, my Megalomaniac with Determination and Grace Mana Reservation Efficiency. Here we do have my Grand Spectrum, as well as the Ancestral Vision, which is a new jewel that basically gives you ailment avoidance based on half of your spell suppression. So in a normal case, you would have 100% chance to suppress spell damage if you do it properly. So it means this jewel gives you actually 50 ailment avoidance on top, and I do have like the Thick Skin cluster plus this 36% chance to avoid elemental ailments Grand Spectrum, because we're running 3 Grand Spectrum. So this one gives actually 36% instead of 12%, makes us ailment immune for now. And over here, my Forbidden Flame Flesh combination, and that's pretty much it. As I said, we do have some more levels in here. It's not perfectly fine now, so my armor still doesn't have evasion. I think I bought this for like 40 chaos today, just like life resistance, nothing crazy about it. But most importantly, what I'm doing here is mixing armor and evasion to, in one hand, get the armor benefits, and in the other hand, get the evasion benefits. So there is like a pretty cool mastery here, Armor and Evasion, that gives you poison immunity if your helmet has higher evasion than armor, and that's why I picked the Nightmare Basket because it has more evasion than armor. It's still a hybrid base, and all the other items are actually armor evasion. So we can take then the Armory Mastery with 1 maximum resistance if all of our items have armor, which in this case is secured, as well as we can take the chance to suppress spell damage from the Evasion Mastery. So I kind of want to like balance this out, like getting armor and evasion, so we're not going to get hit very often. We do have spell suppression. If we get hit, then we still have like a bunch of armor and endurance charges and fortify and so on to counter that hit. As I said, currently I have 2 death and I'm still not done with fine-tuning the defenses, but we're pretty good set up over here. What would be the next upgrade? Obviously, as I said, the quiver, and then we really have to worry or put in the work for damage. And what is missing would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 medium cluster jewels that will... I don't want to like spoiler what kind of combination I'm looking for, because you know how it is when you like, you know, people buy everything in front of you and you're like, I need those. But I think it's gonna be random wasting affliction. Okay, let's just say it like that. I think this is like the best combination that we can have. This is missing like 5 times, which is insane amounts of damage. Then I need to recraft this helmet here. This is the way I bought it, and it was like fine as some chaos res, you know, some chance to press spell damage, lightning res, so it was fine. But I will recraft this one for the perfect mana reservation, and I want to craft this with an essence. And with the amulet and the allocates charisma over here, we're then able to get Malevolence going, and once I get Malevolence going, I want to get a Watcher's Eye with like dot multi and faster ailment. So basically, armor is like the defense layers are pretty much set up based on damage. As I said, 5 medium cluster jewels for pure damage, as well as Malevolence for another like more damage over time, as well as a Watcher's Eye. So that combination will give me probably twice as much damage as I'm currently having. And then I also prepared a Timeless Jewel here. This will go into the slot of Eternal Youth. So what this is doing is giving me 1, 2, 3 times faster bleed modifier and Divine Flesh. But without Chaos Resistance, Divine Flesh is just a suicide commando, and I don't want to do that. And this is actually very cool because I want to get another Armor Mastery, and there are not too many close by. I think here is one, but these notes is just like generic armor. I don't like that too much. And the endurance charge and hit is not necessary for me either, because I do have my minimum endurance charges, right? But what I want to get is a reduced extra damage from critical strikes. In the best case scenario, I want to get crit immune on this one, but the second one would be the 1 maximum all resistance, so I needed another Armor Mastery, and this one makes totally sense with the triple faster bleed. So we're gonna see how we're gonna match this out with the skill points, because at some point when we have spell suppression on all our gear, especially on the armor with like a 22 T1 roll, we should be able to skip that cluster over here, save some extra skill points that I have here in like the extra life modifiers, and then we're gonna finish this like cluster here as soon as we're able to get enough chaos resistance, and then we're gonna work our way towards the medium clusters, and that should pretty much put our damage to quite a reasonable amount. This is my current POB that I'm having. Like almost everything that I'm running here is self-crafted, more or less chaos spammed or essence spammed or something like that. And we currently have like 6.6 million bleed DPS with a fully charged snipe over here. And if we get the helmet chant, this would actually be quite some extra damage, but it's probably not calculating in because I don't have the helmet chant. But as you see, from 4 to 5, it's like a million DPS. Then it's another million, like 900 or a million DPS. So this will grant me some extra damage. But as I said, currently like 6 mil bleed DPS with a duration of... We have raised the puncture snipe. A duration of 6 seconds, which is pretty nice actually. Not even sure if this is correct, because the base duration of puncture is like a lot higher. Let's see what is over here. If we put over here, we have bleeding duration 4.55. Okay, and my split arrow do have doesn't say it over here. Yikes. But it should be fair enough to just have some big bleeds on it. Once a nice roll of physical gets on the target, then 1 puncture is usually taking care of any boss, especially once we are upgrading like the medium clusters and these kind of things. And I could definitely see this build in the current state with these adjustments that I just mentioned, by like maybe like a 15 to 20 mil bleed DPS. And then once we start recrafting the bow, once we start I'm doing an actual passive tree on my weapons. I'm currently having like fist damage, some quality attributes, and even more attributes. So you can use this like with Mage Bane, with Chain, with explicit physical modifiers, damage over time, like a really nice tree with like 5 useful mods. That would actually help quite a lot on the DPS part as well. And believe me or not, in my perfect PUB that I did on stream, you actually get about 40 mil bleed DPS if you have like near perfect gear. And yeah, 40 mil is not possible because dots are capped at 35, but it just shows me that you can actually reach dot cap with a bleed character these days. And that should pretty much take care of every Uber boss or anything like that, because my EK Ignite build, for example, had the dot cap with 35 mil, so I know how much damage a dot build can actually do. On top of that, what I really like about the bleed playstyle is that there are not really modifiers that are actually lowering your DPS. For example, if you're playing Ignite and you roll like additional fire resistance, let's say you're in a simulacrum and monsters have like 80% fire res, you definitely feel that on your Ignite build. But what about physical damage over time? There is like almost no version where monster can actually, how you say, resist your bleeds in that case. I mean, there's a map modifier to avoid bleed, but this is something that is casually for any kind of dot build, a mod that you want to overall, whether it's like avoid elemental ailments or avoid bleeding, impale, and those kind of things. But technically from the damage output, armor is only working against hits, but not against dots. So you could have like a million armor, the bleed will still deal massive amounts of damage, and that still counts for all the monsters. Well, they can have as much armor as they want to have. Our bleeds are kind of dealing true damage in that case, right? While if you play Ignite or Poison monster, have Chaos Resistance or Fire Resistance, something like that, it definitely lowers your damage overall. So I think in that concept, I think bleed DPS might be the strongest kind of like dot that you can apply, basically, because it cannot really get lowered by resistance or anything like that, right? But yeah, other than that, nothing too much. As I said, I'm gonna work on the next days on the upgrades, and then I feel safety or safe enough to do try out the Uber Pinnacle bosses on a Bleed Bow Gladiator, how that turns out. At the moment, I'm farming my invitations. I don't know if I'm slacking or just like chilling more or less in this league, because I still haven't done all the invitations. So currently I'm just filling those up, and once I get some more damage on it, I actually want to doing all these invitations, especially the Fear to unlock finally my last favorite map slot. But as of right now, I feel super chill playstyle, really fun. Just go in, map, you know, whatever you want to throw on the build, just do it, you know, invitation, a boss, like a logbook, oh, I want to do a simulacrum, oh, I got a breachstone, like, whatever it is, you just throw it on the build, and it should be able to successfully do it, because it's not really tailored towards one specific content, but it is just an overall good character with, like, a lot of defense and at some point like really good damage as well. And I can see myself doing like all the challenges with it, especially when it comes to like heist, for example. You want to have some tankiness and stuff, so I'm not even like worried about heist challenges with this kind of character. Alright guys, this is it for today's update. I'm gonna keep you guys updated on the upcoming days, and we see how far we can bring the Bleed Bow character. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.